Make metal bleed. That tagline fully exemplifies the spirit of the new and soulless vision of Ace Combat. Gone is the challenging action of previous Ace Combat games. Assault Horizon is about being in your face. There's a lot of visual spectacle which provides some shallow entertainment, but no matter how loud and bright the explosions get, they can't disguise the obvious. Assault Horizon is so busy being a movie that it forgets to be a game.
I'm alright. I've control of the plane.
Like previous Ace Combat games, Assault Horizon is more of an arcade flight combat game than a simulator. Most missions put you in the cockpit of a fighter or a multi-role aircraft. In the air, you lock on to enemies and let your missiles fly when they're in range, or speed in close enough to let loose a barrage of machine gun fire. Assault Horizon takes the arcade aspects of previous games and distills them even further. Now, when you close in behind an enemy jet, you can tap the shoulder buttons to initiate dogfighting mode. In a dogfight, the camera zooms in and you automatically follow your target in a mostly on-rails chase. You can also turn the tables on fighters that engage you from behind, tapping your shoulder buttons at the right time to circle behind and give chase to your enemy. Dogfighting mode makes a slick first impression. The cinematic camera angles impart a sense of speed and danger. The action sometimes pauses to show the flaming wreckage plummeting downward. It's a flurry of fire and metal and enjoyable to watch and listen to at first. But games aren't meant to just be seen, they're meant to be played. And Assault Horizon falls quickly into a rut because its entertainment value lies solely with the production elements. The gameplay, hollow and repetitive. Everything has been reduced to a minigame. Need to win an air superiority mission? Initiate dogfighting mode again and again. Have to take out a series of ground targets? Initiate another kind of on-rail sequence that removes any potential challenge. You can sometimes just avoid dogfighting mode if you want a more traditional flight combat experience, but doing so hammers home how thin the missions are. Previous Ace Combat games had you taking on giant airborne carriers and flying through narrow canyons. Assault Horizon's few attempts to mix things up are weak by comparison. In between jet flying missions, you might get behind a helicopter's window turret and shoot at bad guys, or paint ground targets from your bomber. These additional gameplay elements wouldn't seem like a bad way to mix up the action, but as delivered, they're really monotonous. These missions last easily twice as long as they should and require no skill at all, and that makes them super boring. The helicopter missions fare better, but not much better. Flying a chopper is like playing an incredibly easy shooter, except that you can raise and lower your altitude. And you certainly can't crash. The fiery visuals and sounds suck you in at first, but from moment to moment, you do the same thing time and again. Lock onto your target and shoot. Should a missile come your way, hit your bumpers and perform an evasive barrel roll to avoid it. Lock and shoot, quick time event, lock and shoot. It's as shallow as it comes. Assault Horizon's story has a promising start, but once the plot is in full swing, nothing happens you can't see coming. A few attempts at emotion are appreciated, but it's hard to care about these characters when most every line they utter is to move the plot, rather than develop them as human beings. Compare this to Ace Combat 6, which explored the effect war had on pilots as well as their loved ones. Assault Horizon's story is all bluster, no substance. Of course, you leave behind story concerns when you play online. The competitive modes show off Assault Horizon at its best because the human element makes combat much less predictable. Domination and deathmatch modes are fine, but the action shines in Capital Conquest mode. Here you take out a series of key structures while defending your own from the opposition. The action has a nice ebb and flow to it, and you can pilot jets, bombers, and even choppers. Dogfighting mode appears here too, but it has a little more zing because human targets are a lot more erratic. You can also play campaign missions cooperatively with up to 2 others, though doing so doesn't do much to ramp up the thrills. There's nothing wrong with having a flair for the dramatic, and at first, you might find yourself swept up by Assault Horizon's visual theatrics. The drama comes at a cost. Assault Horizon has little to say, but it says it loudly, over and over again, hoping to fool you into thinking you're having a blast. The explosions say, "Look how exciting I am!" The overblown soundtrack screams, "Listen to me, I'm epic!" The illusion is effective at first, but it won't be long before you see through the trick. This flight action game looks exciting, but never backs up its looks with compelling gameplay.
Dead.